Running stop signs causes 700,000 crashes every year, and over 6,500 pedestrians get killed because of this. This intersection is right by my house and an elementary school. This is where all the crazy high schoolers come driving at 3:30 every day. It's a very dangerous intersection that really doesn't give much attention. Every day, kids are walking home, biking home, playing with fate as cars maybe do, maybe don't stop. When people run through this intersection, they could almost hit bikers. It's not safe, and it really needs to be. I'm gonna build a robot. We're gonna see. I don't know what I'm doing at all, but I feel like I can make this a lot safer than it is right now. All right, we got some goals. One, it has to be robust. That means very sturdily built, big weatherproof tires, something like that. Second, it has to have autonomous response. That means avoiding obstacles. Because, if a car's coming at it, it's gotta be able to go the other way. Or if people run up to it, it's gotta be able to interact. 3, it's gotta be tapped into via controller. That means person on a computer or with an iPhone has to be able to control the robot to make it stop doing something or start doing something. And 4, it's gotta be protective and obvious. Those are things like lights, reflectives, sound, and big enough so that people and cars can see it and interact with it before running into it. Now, what will it look like? A simple idea is like a trash can on a go-kart. Okay, let's rewind. That right there was the start to a summer YouTube video from last summer. Not this last summer, but summer 2022. To understand fully, we gotta go all the way back to the beginning of 2022. I had just finished programming my first Christmas light show, which got a ton of attention and compliments from friends and family. I was eager to start my next project. But this time, I wanted to do something that could really better my community or make a change in the world. I settled on this crossing guard robot idea and called up my cousin Brian for help. The combined knowledge in this room might be more of that than my high school. I'm at Brian's, there's like tons of his friends scientists. We're all thinking about some way that we can hack this robot together. We started working on a few different little model robots to try to get the little components and ideas into place to see if they're tangible for a bigger robot, like this giant car that he's got out. We might try to make that a body. Everything is everywhere right now. We're kind of just having fun. Knowledge is flying. Alright, we've been doing this all winter, just learning everything about robots, Raspberry Pis, servos, different components, optical display, just everything. Brian just sent me a video that he made a literal trash can on wheels. I mean, it's ridiculous. He took apart an RC car and literally placed a trash can on top of there, moved it around his street, and just kind of got reactions from people. But it really shows the actual tangibility of this project. Now, gotta kind of take the knowledge that I've gained and apply it to the real deal. This is where it got hard. It was the summer of the Kickstarter. To make a full-fledged, real-life-size robot like this, it was going to be thousands of dollars. So the idea was to pitch it to local communities like my school and neighborhoods or cities and try to obtain funding or promise that they would help make it work. All right, thank you. It was a 47-minute conversation. It was a dude from city council. Totally humored me. He could care less about this project. He said to show him something first. He said first he would need to see a model or a business plan. That's the third call now that's kind of said the same things, that we need credibility or a model that actually proves what this could do. I think we have to scale it back. So we decided to scale it back a step to something that we could do without funding. The method of doing this? An RC car. Essentially, you take the right kind of RC car, you gut it, you give it a bunch of sensors, a controller, a Raspberry Pi, you code it, and then it can do all of these functions. Alright, issue number 1. His car looks like that. There's a ton of little, perfect for this setup. I have about half an inch and I only have 2 little wires. This is the battery. This is irrelevant. I only have 2 little wires, one for the motor and one for the servo. He's got like 6, one for the little remote, one for the servo, one for the motor, and one for the battery in the back. I don't know what to do because those 2 cars are nothing alike. Okay, going into Hub Hobby with this and just gonna ask if they have a way to get me a front wheel set for this, what's this called? This servo. I need a servo wheel turning system. Maybe they'll have it in the hobby shop. Maybe I'll be an idiot asking a weird question. Good morning. I have a very weird question for you. Okay. Maybe. I'm building this thing, right? Whatever. I need a servo, like the entire front axle. This thing didn't come with it. I have the back things and is that a thing that you could have just a...
Like the steering assembly?
Yes, like the whole steering assembly.
I just don't have them like that anymore. Now, if I had to send you to a competitor that you might be able to walk in and find such a thing,
Yeah.
RC Car Kings in Burnsville.
RC Car
They
Kings.
deal in a lot of old stuff.
Alright, it wasn't a stupid question. And for the first time in this whole project, I'm actually kind of getting somewhere. I went to Hub Hobby and he sent me over here saying that you have a lot of like older, did you say pan cars? Maybe? So I have this thing that, whatever, it's irrelevant. Do you by chance have like a steering thing? Yes, I have the servo and then it just didn't come with the whole set of steering. I've never been so rudely talked to in my life. He could not comprehend that I didn't know what a 1/8 servo steering capsule was or whatever the heck. Yeah. So I got out of there and I'm no closer to solving this problem. I have no idea. Gonna have to look on eBay for some kind of already made chassis with all the parts already in there. I don't know. After finding myself out of luck and not willing to spend $300 just to keep this alive, I turn and change courses yet again. At this point, the time that I've put into this, the 2 years, makes it unjustifiable to quit. On attempt number 3. It's kind of the last hope. Had to completely descale in cars. This one's gonna have 2 wheels, not 3. Or not 4. I don't know. This one's gonna have 2 wheels, not 4. Long story short, this RC car doesn't now work with the original donkey car programming that was supposed to work. I'm gonna take all of this over to Brian's house, and he's got a friend who maybe knows what to do if he has the free time or abilities to connect the dots. It's not looking good. Long story short, it just wasn't gonna work. It was never really gonna work. So here we are 2 years later. Same intersection. The sun is setting on the possibility of this happening. Are you kidding me? They just ran that. Anyways, the idea of sunk cost is when you put so much time, money, or effort into something and you feel that you can't quit. It's hard to put it, but I swear, it looks staged. It's not staged. They just did it again. Every project I've ever done, I've finished. Even back to trick shots when I was in 5th grade. I have never quit on a trick shot. I've always done it until I got it. To crazy long stop motions, to Christmas lights, to a pizza oven. I really thought this was the same thing. I learned the importance of keeping with something and knowing when you're beat. And you gotta know when to fold them. You gotta know when to walk away. This robot, it was time to walk away. It feels like a really dumb way to end the video, but as I sit here editing this, there's still cars going through that stop sign. It's now almost been 3 years since the birth of this project. Although I did not meet my expectations in a final product, I exceeded my expectations in a full effort. I think that while a big feat like this can certainly help better society, it doesn't always have to be a 3-year project. Sometimes just the little things can make a difference. And hey, on to the next one. Time to go program some Christmas lights.